Hey there. We're live now. I hope. I hope. And it looks like today we are finishing up maybe a course. I don't know if we'll finish it up all the way today, but man, it's just making a quick course on like kind of overview of mixing fundamentals. It has been pretty tough. Like I don't know how to go back like all the way to beginner level thinking. Like I think that's like I'm struggling a little bit here. And but that's what I'm discovering. So if you have any questions about any of the audio processes, or hopefully I'm describing everything okay, or hopefully you guys just already know the basics. I don't know. I'm really trying to just come at this from like a different angle of like what you need to know to get your song done, not what you need to know to get Spotify ready, radio ready. Like it's just not going to happen unless you've been putting out music for a long time or you have been mixing for a long time. Like y'all just, I don't know why you think you could take a course and then like have radio ready mixes. I don't know why anyone would think that. There's millions of people putting songs out every day apparently, or hundreds of thousands, something ridiculous. And like, why do you think? If, I mean, these people have everybody's watched a course or tutorials on how to mix, and it's not about the course; it's about listening. And something also that I'm just really shocked about, and I shouldn't be shocked. I should know better. I should know better. I should have known better for a long time. But it's like my Scarlett interface died. Like it literally died. All bright red light LEDs. It just died. And I'm in Thailand, so my interface selection is very thin. Like I either can get like a really affordable uh, Chinese manufactured thing that is who knows what company it's from, or it's just a really risky investment, or I could get something along the lines of a Universal Audio or a Presonus. And I did. I went kind of crazy. I got the, I don't know if you can see it. I got the Presonus Quantum ES2, and I don't know what it was in my heart that just said, hey, maybe just get this one. And because it's a little bit underpowered for what I usually do. I usually do more stuff. I usually like to have more inputs. So I was paying more for less inputs, and I was really anxious about that. But part of me wanted to have something portable in case I was traveling and making music in different towns and different areas. So I wanted to have something portable. So that was my logic behind it. And it has transformed. I mean, listen to my mic today. It probably sounds better. I can get a lot more gain out of it. And then these headphones. Like I thought something was wrong with my headphones. I thought I had blown them up or something. But these are the DT770s, and these are the 80 ohm version. And having these plugged in and listening on my Scarlett, like you don't notice anything's wrong. Like you think it's a little thin, and you think it's the headphones. Like, I mean, I guess it's just the headphones, or it's just a little thin. And then I plug them into this, and I just get all of this richness back. And it was like, what? Like it was like richness, but not muddy. Like the detail was in there. The detail is in there. And I'm just shocked. Like I've been basically making music blind for, I don't know, 10 years now. Not that I've been making that much, but the last 6 months I've been making a lot of music, and I've just been doing it blind. Like the fact that it sounds kind of decent is a miracle, because yeah, I mean, I don't know how to describe. Like I pulled up some mixes, and I'm like, oh, they're just not wide enough. Like all of my mixes, oh, they're a little muddy, and it's like, it's so obvious from these that I wanted to say something about that. Like, because like if you're mixing and you don't have a way to monitor accurately, wow, what a huge difference. You just can't get there from there. Like instead of buying a course on mixing, you need to think about an interface that is quality. And that's really the point of what I'm saying right now. You need to think about, what are you listening on? And I'm sure monitors have the same issues. Like, that's why some people mix on such and such monitor and da 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 da. Like the clarity that you get. And then also you have to worry about your room and everything. So I'm just so blown away by this, that it's such a difference. Like, that I was not expecting such a dramatic difference in the headphones. I mean, and it's a little bit dark, but I think maybe that's because, I mean, I think that was originally how I thought these headphones sounded, was kind of dark when I tested them a long time ago. And then I got them and I was like, oh, I guess they're just like this now. And so, but it's going to help me a lot because my hearing is dark. So I'm not going to skip over all of that muddiness and I know it's a weird word to use because the clarity is usually associated with high end, but there's like a clarity in the muddiness, in the mud, in the low mids that I can hear now that I couldn't hear before. And I just think it's gonna make my music so much better just immediately. And then also the latency. So far, I've been able to record at like really low latency. I don't know how with live streaming and everything else that's gonna hold up. But also, also being able to hear my voice when I was on the Scarlett, and I don't know, like maybe it's just like a phase thing, because I would have to turn my monitoring up or my headphones up so loud so that I could hear myself. And maybe it's just that. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. What is these? Oh, that's the thumbnail. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I was waiting for the Allegra to kick in, and I guess it just never did. Okay. But what I'm saying is, I can hear myself now when I have these headphones on, when I'm singing and tracking, and it's like, it's so refreshing. Like the body of my voice is there, and it's easier to, I believe, hit the right notes. It was so difficult before because I guess I was essentially listening to this like thinned out, distorted thing that I didn't realize, and I was just adjusting. Like my brain was trying to adjust it, and so really, if you're not hearing correctly, it's just going to be so hard to get a good mix. Like I've really been mixing blind and using plugins and visual plugins and things to like really dial it in, and then mixing literally my MacBook Pro speakers to get a better sound because my monitors blew up and my headphones I knew I couldn't really trust, I guess on some level. And so I was mixing on the MacBook Pro speakers. The problem with that is like it does some extra spatial stuff. So you feel like your mix is wider than it is. And so I realized like, oh, my mixes aren't really wide enough. And like, it gives you that extra separation. Like it gives you more clarity in those low mids that is maybe not there somehow, like some kind of magic, you know, Apple, they do like weird stuff. So, so my mixes were sounding better than they actually were. So that's just kind of where I'm at. So I'm just shocked by the difference. Like I don't have the best hearing, but like I can still hear so much better. Like, so it's just, yeah, just shocked. So Personas, and I had to pay extra for this to get it because like, I don't know, in Thailand, like there's less stuff like this. So, it was a little more expensive, but it did get here fast. And that just makes me happy. So, as much as I bash Personas, like y'all did good with this interface, man. Like it sounds fantastic, and I wish I could A/B, but the other one's exploded, so I can't even show you like the difference. Like, yeah. Okay. We're gonna just dive back into the work session. If you're here, say hi in the chat. I'll be available to chat, and I'm gonna dive back into editing this course. It's gonna be free when it comes out. It's a mixing course for songwriters. So as soon as this course comes out, it will be free, and then eventually I'll charge for it. So if you want to get access to the free version of this course, then go ahead and get on the wait list, and that link is in the under the more button in the description of the video. So Yeah. I'm gonna have to turn off the screen for a second because I've got a little bit of a sinus issue. I don't know what that's about, but just 1 second. Anybody here? Nobody's here. All right. Oh my goodness. All right. I like to call the densify. Dynamics in the simplest form are loud and soft, quiet and loud. But I also like to think of dynamics in terms of frequency ranges as well. And then also over time, how much dynamics are happening in a short amount of time. They call these macro dynamics. It's what Sculptor and things like that are doing, are like morphing your sound into a certain level of dynamics over a short period of time. It's what I like to call the densifying process. This is completely made up, but essentially, even if you just compress something like a lot with a standard compressor, which is what you use to control dynamics typically, you would put a compressor on. And if you're singing and you sing this note and it's super loud, then the compressor will go over the threshold and bring that note down. And then when you're singing quiet, it's doing less. And so when you bring the output gain of the compressor up, we already talked about this, it's bringing that average volume up. But what you're missing a lot of times when you're compressing something is that loud note that you just sang is like, I don't know, let's just say like a high note. Let's just say it's higher up on that frequency spectrum, on the hertz scale or cycles per second. It's higher up on that. You're clamping that one down maybe, but you're not clamping down the lower notes that you're singing. And so the discrepancy, even though you're clamping that down a bit, still those lower notes may not even be coming close, and they might be like averaging way quieter. So you have to think about it also in sections of frequency, and then also the S's and the T's and those things. That's why people put de-essers on things all the time, is because those come through faster. They come through a compressor faster, and they also
Can you hear me over this?
louder depending on the microphone.
Curious.
They can be louder, and so you have to compress those also, and those can trigger your whole compressor and mess up your whole frequency spectrum balance. And that's why a lot of my dynamics processing is actually within.
Okay, cancel
Spectrum balance, and that's why a lot of my dynamics processing is actually within.
So I'm gonna turn I guess the mic up and the whatever this is down. All right. All right, no more excuses, guys. You don't have any excuses.
Be louder depending on the microphone. They can be louder, and so you have to compress those also, and those can trigger your whole compressor and mess up your whole frequency spectrum balance. And that's why a lot of my dynamics processing is actually within a dynamic EQ. And you have seen some of this process already so far in the EQ tutorial. So now we're going to dive into a little bit more of EQing this piano part and thinking about it in terms of dynamics and what we can do to make sure the body is always there, but then when certain parts of the body pop out, that those get compressed also. And so we're just shaping it this way. And you'll notice the average is good, right?
Oh, I think I exported this already, actually. Yeah, I already did dynamics. Okay, so maybe I just didn't upload it. All right, let's look at the course here. Mixing for Songwriters. Let me just go over here. Mixing for Songwriters. Is that it? Like that framework for mixing dynamics. Let's see what I did. Maybe. Oh, I didn't get the video in here yet. Hold on. Let's see. Upload file. Let's see if it's available. Yeah, I need to upload this. Did I export it? Let's see. Movies. What the F? Mixing for Songwriters. Let me just make sure the end of this video is actually here, because it looks like it didn't export the whole film. Let me just make sure it's 9 minutes
dynamics
long.
And this and doing the dynamic EQ and just doing just these little bits, like you could easily destroy your sound if you did this much gain reduction with one compressor or one level.
All right, cool. All right, so let's upload that, I guess. All right. I should have had this done already, but you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All right, so upload file, videos. Dynamics. It's coming. All right. All right. Oh, I'm not on the screen. There. And this, this interface matches my whole aesthetic here with the blue blurple. Blurple and blue. Uh, is that sad? That was probably the main reason about it. Well, it was size too. I wanted to get something small. And I also, the fact that it's bus powered is sick. Like, and I realized like it won't be powered by every bus, so I get that. But like, it does work on the Mac. I have to plug it in before I plug in my camera so that it distributes the power correctly. But then once it's on, and then I can plug my camera in, and the ES2 works. Oh, and another advantage of buying stuff, Persona stuff, is like I got an extra 6 months of what do they call it now? I don't know, Studio One Plus added to my account. So that's nice. That makes me feel a little less bad about having to overpay for this in Thailand. So, yeah. Let's see here. It was a nice surprise. Um, oh, I see. Play. All right. Play. Why is this happening? All right. Okay, so we're just chilling, waiting here. Let's go look at the course and see. Oh, wait, I can't. Okay, let me open another tab of System.io. This is the software that I use to build funnels and sell on digital products and give you guys stuff like the 7-step songwriting checklist. It's all done using this software. Actually, my whole website is on the software. So if you ever wanted to do any of that kind of stuff and you got confused, if you get confused because there's so many moving parts, there's so many pieces of making a website and making an online business, System.io has everything built in. Also, I mean, if you're an artist, you might want to think about Shopify, but I just really like the way that I can customize everything in this. So, yeah. Let's turn this on. Also, we're working on the DAW, subgroups and auxes. Oh, we recorded that, so that's what we have to edit today, subgroups and auxes. All right, so let's close this, and we'll do subgroups and auxes. New project. I need to organize all of these. All right. I keep thinking I'm gonna cancel Descript because theoretically, like I said, you can do this in Resolve, but it's just a pain in the butt. Like they need to update their stuff. All right, so we need to find the video for this. And I don't know. It should be in just movies. Dynamics A. It's gonna be one of these long ones. Maybe it's this one. Okay, an actual mixing. And back in the day when you had these mixing boards, these giant mixing boards. Yeah, this is it. All right, so we're going to take this and drop it in here. And we'll let that figure out. Oh, yep. Same problem. Too many tracks. I can't wait to delete all of these videos off of my hard drive. All right. There we go. Okay, so it's really just one track. Let's see what is this on the other track. All right. It sounds so bad.
Whoops. Did anybody see it?
I don't.
All right. And that is, I guess, it for buses and auxes. If you have any questions about buses and auxes,
So let me go in and do the same thing I did yesterday, which was
if you have questions about buses and same dynamic EQ,
clean this up a little
problem
bit.
areas that we're poking out. All right. And that's what this sounds like.
What just happened?
You can see it's a real problem here.
Oof. All right.
All right. And
Just get rid of that bleed.
I guess it for buses and auxes. If you have any questions about buses and auxes, ask me over here in the chat. And
all right. And we'll do the same thing here. And we'll put here. So also, I probably don't want to take out. Am I talking there? Let's see.
where do they all go? Oh, here. That's this track here. And so this is the auxiliary track for that reverb, and it's just this Valhalla Supermassive. This is free, by the way. Super clutch. Valhalla makes amazing reverbs, but they have some really great free plugins, Supermassive. And then I used a ton of that other free one called like Frequency something that's just basically like a fancy flanger thing, and use that a bunch on the last track where I was mixing, trying to get that like retro Jimi Hendrix thing.
I don't know. What am I saying here?
Where do they all go? Oh, here. That's this track here.
Okay. Whatever. All right.
So
that's fine. It's better than it was. Let's do this bit.
That delay, that echo through you, it's only being sent here where I'm muting the send, or unmuting the send rather. So the send is just...
Okay, great. And then now, what do we need to do? We need to crispify the voice. Crispify the voice. So we got, we're gonna mute channel 1, and then channel 2, we're gonna put the vocal processor on it. Dialogue processor. All right, cool. And then we're gonna do male and bring this down to like 20. Let's play.
Mute on and off for that auxiliary.
The rumble can be lower. T-pop. Probably don't need that.
So
TS. Bring it down to a lower frequency.
And -6 is -6 decibels. And that echo, that send is going to the aux track with the echo on it, which was over here.
All right, and that's pretty much it. And put a limiter on the master.
Where do they all go? Oh, here. That's this track here.
Okay, that looks good.
And so this is the auxiliary track for that reverb, and it's just this Valhalla Supermassive. This is free, by the way. Super clutch. Valhalla makes...
Doesn't sound that crispy as usual.
Free plugins, Supermassive. And then I used a ton of that other free one called like Frequency something that's just basically like a fancy flanger thing, and used that a bunch on the last track where I was mixing, trying to get that like retro.
Okay, and then maybe the music is too loud.
Mix that track.
Let's just turn this down
Is the
tiny
echo
bit.
delay thing going on, and then of course we're trying to control that a little bit, so we're rolling off all the lows. Da 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 da. Same thing.
Yeah, that's loud as that.
All right, and that is, I guess, it. Dynamic EQ on problem areas.
Okay, that should be good. Perfect. All right, let's export this.
Where do they all go?
Maybe a little bit less.
That's this track here. And so this is the... Where do they all go?
Okay, great.
That's
all right.
This track here.
All right, I can deliver this as before edit. Hey, if you're here, say hi. I guess there's a couple people hopping in. I'm just doing some work here. I had a whole speech at the beginning. If you go back, and then there's what am I talking about? Oh my gosh. I'm making a mixing course here. I'm just editing it. So if you want access to this course, there is a waitlist sign up in the description. It's also free. So, oh, I ran you off. Every time I say something about you guys being here, you run off. All right. I gotta learn my lesson. All right, let's see here. Let's do. What are we doing? This is pre-edit of routing console. What did I call this part? Console pre-edit. I don't know. Routing pre-edit. Routing pre-edit. Yeah, we'll just stick it in movies. I know it's gonna be a nightmare figuring all this out. Okay, I'm gonna do MB4. No QuickTime. That is Descript does not know how to handle that. All right, render all. I'll just wait for that to render, I guess. That's the thumbnail. Where is everything? Okay. And a couple of you have, it was nice to have some new people in the chat yesterday. And if you are stuck and you're not getting songs done and you feel like you have like infinity songwriters block, then I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but something is wrong with you, and you have some mindset issues. So if you can't even get started with your songs, I wrote a book called Something Is Wrong With You, Something Is Not Wrong With You, and it's available on Kindle now, and I just wanted to thank you guys. Some of you have picked it up. It's super cool. And it's all the stuff I did to get unstuck in the last 6 months. Made an album's worth of music. Started making videos on here and on the other channel. And wrote the book. So it's all the things I did to do all that. And started getting in shape a little bit of exercising going on. Yeah. So if you feel stuck, that's the book for you. It's not long. It's not a long read, but it will, could be tough to get through. Not mean to be logged into this. Am I still on the VPN? Probably. That's not good. Nope. Okay, good. All right. How does the mic sound? Does it sound like super crispy now? Because I got a lot of extra gain. I can really crank the gain up on this. And it's clean. Super clean. Let me go back into here. I forgot exactly where I was. Let's see, we have this. Okay, so we're looking to get. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, let's see if the file. I wonder if it's still uploading. Oh, dynamics here. It says it's there. Okay. All right. All right. We'll save this. Let's have a look. See what this looks like. All right. So once the course is available, it'll look like this. This will be your name here. That framework for mixing, balance, EQ, dynamics. Okay.
Dynamics in the simplest form are loud and soft, quiet and loud. But I also like to think of dynamics in terms of frequency ranges as well, and then also over time, how much dynamics are happening in a short amount of time. I believe they call these macro dynamics. It's what Sculptor and things like that are doing, are like morphing your sound into a certain level of dynamics over a short period of time. That's what I like to call the densifying process. This is completely made up, but essentially, even if you just compress something like a lot with a standard compressor, which is what you use to control dynamics typically, you would put a compressor on, and if you're singing and you sing this note and it's super loud, then the compressor will go over the threshold and bring that note down. And then when you're singing quiet, it's doing less. And so when you bring the output gain of the compressor up, we already talked about this, it's bringing that average volume up. But what you're missing a lot of times when you're compressing something is that loud note that you just sang is like, I don't know, let's just say like a high note. Let's just say it's higher up on that frequency spectrum, on the hertz scale or cycles per second. It's higher up on that. You're clamping that one down maybe, but you're not clamping down the lower notes that you're singing. And so the discrepancy, even though you're clamping that down a bit, still those lower notes may not even be coming close, and they might be like averaging way quieter. So you have to think about it also in sections of frequency, and then also the S's and the T's and those things. That's why people put de-essers on things all the time, is because those come through faster, they come through a compressor faster, and they also tend to be louder, depending on the microphone, they can be louder. And so you have to compress those also, and those can trigger your whole compressor and mess up your whole...
I'm realizing I said that backwards. I meant to say when the high frequency gets pushed down, your low frequencies are also getting pushed down. So there's still a huge discrepancy. So I'll fix that eventually.
Also, and so we're just shaping it this way. And you'll notice the average is good, right? The average level of this is great. It seems like there's a good balance of frequencies. But just every once in a while, certain notes down here just poke through. So if this were hitting a compressor like this, which it is, it's going to shift the balance of the frequencies in a way. And actually, it was going to stay the same, but it's going to push everything else down when these louder notes happen. And so you don't have the same density, if you will. It's just the only word I know how to describe what I'm talking about. So like this note, some of these notes, that note here, this one very specifically, but like you don't necessarily want to just cut, because there's a lot of other notes where you need that body. So maybe cut a little bit because it is sounding heavy in the mix, but then also dynamically reduce. So we're just putting the compressor on this range. Here we go. And that way there's still some body in there, but it's only mainly taking it out when it's too loud. And let's listen to this in the context of the mix. I still think it's probably too thick. So we're gonna add a high pass filter. You have to be careful, because I do want the low end of this piano to hit so you feel it. But at the same time, we know kick drums and bass really need to be in that spot. They need to be the ones living there. And we notice the same thing here. In the mid-range is a similar problem. Sometimes the mid-range pokes out quite a bit over this line. Is basically like an ideal flat line of our audible hearing. Like it's what you're shooting for. So I know it's cheating and it's very visual, and I think this is probably just a good way to get a basic sound. Using your ears to mix is great, but when you're starting out and you're just songwriting, you don't always have that hearing, or if you've just been listening to it over and over, your ears are constantly trying to adjust to make everything sound correct. So your brain is adjusting rather. So you're hearing the sound and it could be completely out of balance. Like for instance, like those drums, like a little bit crispy, right? And I need to go in and fix that. But yesterday when I was listening to the exact same drums, because I've been listening to them so long, my ears made them sound like they were supposed to sound. My brain did. Yeah. So we're just gonna take this little bit out here, and then we're gonna just tweak the drums a little bit. That should be a good thing to talk about for dynamics. Actually, this frequency here can be annoying. Anything like between 1K and 4K can be like annoying over time. And you don't want to take it out because like you really hear a lot there. But if it's just constant or things poking out like in that range, like it can be annoying. Okay, so I think what happened is whatever the balance is sounds right before the drums change to this track, and this one's just a little bit bright. So we're just gonna put a high shelf on and then have it only dynamically come in when this drum part comes in. And I could just go back and lower the volume of this part or EQ this particular track, but why not just do a little top-down mixing? It's not my favorite thing to do, and I really do prefer to fix things at the source. But I have a feeling a lot of you are gonna be working with loops or with beats that are pre-made, and you're not gonna have as much control over everything as somebody that makes everything from scratch. So doing something like this, there's something to take the edge off, and maybe it's too much. It's entirely possible, but it does sound better to my ears. Speaking of the densifying process, this is sort of it for me. I've just come to this, and then I haven't been able to get away from it. I keep trying to use separate compressors and use separate clippers and separate limiters, but as far as those macro dynamics of just controlling them and getting things dense, the difference between the loud and soft, but not making it sound compressed, you do it by doing little bits at a time with different tools. And this has all the tools built in. This has a compressor, this has a high frequency limiter, this has a clipper, a multi-brand limiter, and then another limiter on the output. Doing all of these things just a little bit makes every sound or bus that I put this on just that much more rich and dense and not fluctuating so much in dynamics. I'm not saying you don't want to have a dynamic mix. I'm just saying you want to have a controlled dynamic mix. This helps you do that. Let me just turn it off actually, and then you'll see the difference in the drums. These are the drums. And you just listen to the drums. And we'll turn this on. It actually did not come up in volume that much. And the amount of loudness that you get without the artifacts of compression is ridiculous. Like you get some, like a small amount, but like this Nova compressor is very clean. The clipper, I tend to use the low frequency clip, and so it's only clipping bass and lower frequency things. So this actually causes some saturation, which helps those sounds come through on cell phones and things. So this is doing a lot of the legwork. Then it also has this mid-side function. So it's not clipping the whole track when the bass hits, it's clipping the mid section. And so you just get this extra richness and denseness that you wouldn't get otherwise. And then doing the same thing here on the peak limiter, this multi-band limiter. I use it probably harder than I should, but for drums, it's okay to actually go a little crazier than I'm going. I could probably do quite a bit more. But since all these are loops, they're already fairly processed anyway, so I'm just shaving off a little bit. Right? This other loop came in here. So you can see it's just doing a little bit, and it's controlling that and making it that much more dense. And I've been doing this on pretty much all of my subgroups for a while now. This is just the way I think about densifying. It's the only word I have. It's doing this and doing the dynamic EQ before, which is essentially, because I use so many nodes on my dynamic EQ normally, it's essentially a multi-band. So I'm compressing in different bands a lot to get the average sounding great in the way that I like it. Then dynamically densifying, I don't have another word for this process. Compressing, high frequency limiting, clipping the low end, multi-band limiting again, and then limiting again, and just doing just these little bits. Like you could easily destroy your sound if you did this much gain reduction with one compressor or one limiter. It would sound weird. It would sound bad, like a radio or something like it. And this doesn't sound like that. This is not that. And that's all I got for this bit. All right. So in the next tutorial will be for subgroups and auxes.
Oh, I just realized the mic was off again. You know, because YouTube loves that when there's no audio coming through. They're like, oh, well, this is a video we should show to everybody. All right. Let me hop back into here. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Still poor stream health. There's something I can do to videos currently being output. Is there any outputs to change screen settings? Okay. Main. There's like a way to increase. I can't do it while I'm live. There's a way to increase my settings. Is it like glitchy? What does it look like over there? It's like nothing. Poor. This says it's doing fine. Disk space, transmission rate. That looks good. Why is my stream health not good? Stream settings, stream health. Okay. Service issues that need attention. Okay. All right, well, we're going to order right now. We'll order that Ethernet cable. I'm not, you know, I think this is why YouTube hasn't been showing my videos to as many people. Because, like, my video is not even there. I didn't even see. Let's see here.
I think this is why YouTube hasn't been showing videos to as many people. Well, it is working though. Why does it say my health is poor? Your health is poor. Your health is fine. Cancel. I mean, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not like making music right now or nothing. I mean, I have it open. Come on, bro. Just let me. CPU, memory. Why is it dropping frames? Disk space available. Probably not enough. Disk space. What can I do? I can't like do anything while I'm live. So this is what you get, I guess. I can't like change a setting. Can I? Can I change it to like 1080 or something? Can't do anything. Maybe I can change the bit rate. We'll see what happens. Maybe this will. Could just. It looks excellent. Excellent. Okay, that's it. All right. Excelente. Answering your questions live. Where are you at? Answering questions live. I'm answering your questions live, but nobody's here. This afternoon. When was that? Part 1, Part 2. Click to attend. Right. I'll be going live at 2 p.m. Central. Noon in LA. Okay, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. in New York. What is that? So that's 2 a.m. Okay, well, I missed that then. Or is that tomorrow? Totally need to hop in there. Sonus, thank you for registering. Do you have permanent writer's block? Do you have permanent writer's block? I sent an email out to you guys about writer's block, but like having like serious writer's block. If you're on the list, you got it. If you're not on the list, sign up for this, the course, for when it comes out. Get on the wait list. It is not the How to Become a Millionaire course. It is the Mixing for Songwriters course. All right, I think this has been exported. I've been just sitting here way too long. All right, we got routing pre-edit is the file name. I'm gonna save this and close this, I guess. What just happened? All right, routing pre-edit. All right, let's close resolve. I got quite a few things open here. All right, and then we'll open that file inside of Descript and we'll just get to editing it. I'm not going to remove the silent gaps because last time I did that, I lost all the music and it was really hard to remember where the music was in there, even though it does make it tighter. Oh, excuse me. Oh. All right, so this will analyze this. Man, I gotta get an affiliate link for Descript, man. I'm like, I used to have one. They changed their program. So sneaky. Okay. Um,
Man, I would unsubscribe to Slate, like Stephen Slate, but like I'm waiting for the SSD drum thing. Like I'm really excited about that. I just get emails about headphones like every 5 seconds. It's really annoying, Stephen. Um, I'm excited about putting this course out. I mean, I am going to charge for it eventually, but I'm excited about just putting it out for you guys, the ones that have been here since the beginning or just new actually, that are here now. You're really helping me build the channel. So, if you think this is going to be helpful for you, let me know. Or if you have questions, if I'm missing something, okay, so let's see here. We got this here.
Okay, an actual mixing.
Okay, that's loud. All right, so let's do edit for clarity. Let's submit. All right, AI editing, bro. I have no idea what he did. I hope he didn't cut out my music. Apply edits to script. Done. All right, let's see.
Okay, an actual mixing land. Back in the day when you had these mixing boards, these giant mixing boards and consoles, you would have say your vocal, and your vocalist would be like, hey, can you put some delay on my voice? And you'd be like, sure. And what had to happen for that was kind of crazy. You would have to go on that channel, go down to where it said aux send. It stands for auxiliary send. And then you would turn that little knob and it would send audio to another location, an aux, if you will. And that aux, you would then route out of another plug in your console into this little reverb unit, digital box. You would plug that little 1/4-inch cable into there, and then out of the back of that, and then back in, you'd route that back into another channel, and that would be your aux return. You could have an auxiliary return, so it would be like right there on the mixer, and then you would adjust it there, the level there, or you could bring it in on a whole new fader. And so when we're talking about auxes, that's what that is. But in a DAW, it's just this really simple, elegant solution. And the same thing with subgroups. Back in the day on the mixer, you would have all of your little channels, and then all your channels would typically go to the stereo mix. But we also had these things called subgroups, and the mixers back in the day would only have maybe 4. You would have like 4 subgroups, 8 if you were lucky, and 16 if you were on a giant friggin' monster board, but like 4 usually. And so you would send all the drums to one subgroup. So instead of going, so on the mixer at the bottom of the channel, instead of like there's like a little teeny button, and it's like 1, 2 for stereo, or 1, 2 for group 1, 2, and then 3, 4 for group 3, 4, and then like stereo or stereo bus. And so you would have to take it out of the stereo bus, put it into 1, 2, send all the drums to 1, 2, and then you could put a compressor on all the drums, and so that they're always hitting, and they're always like a fairly consistent volume. Then you would go over to that actual group channel, which would be a completely separate channel, and then you would adjust the volume of all the drums with that one channel, that one fader. So all of the drums are sent to that group channel, but that group channel has something called inserts.
Okay, I'm back. Oh, if you're here, say hi in the chat. I'm going to switch to headphones so that this doesn't bleed back in the microphone. So I can edit and talk at the same time. Just hang tight here for a second. System settings. Sound. Oh, it's over here. Sound. Look at this Quantum ES2, man. I had no idea it would be such an improvement. All right. Every time I mention you guys, you're just stuck. You duck. All right. This could be loud. Let me see.
Channel, which would be a completely separate channel, and then you would adjust the volume of all the drums with that one channel, that one fader. So all of the drums are sent to that group channel, but that group channel has something called inserts. So you still have to plug in this 1/4-inch cable out of the insert into a rack mountable.
Why am I so loud? I'm so loud?
Hold on. Check. Check. It looks the same. It's the same, right? What was it on if it wasn't on this? Check. How do I get it to go back to blue? Main? Check. So what would I be controlling? What is this knob controlling then? Check the output. Ah, the output. Okay, I see. Okay, check, check, check.
Compressor unit, and then out of that compressor back into the stupid subgroup insert return, and then you could be able to control the output of that compressor. And so it was this ridiculous process that is now like one click inside of your DAW. So they're essentially the same thing, but there are like there's reasons for why you would do things differently. But in general, subgroups are for like pure audio, and aux tracks are for something that you're going to use like a time-based effect, or like something that's very, very affected, like a reverb or a delay or something to that nature, usually auxes. So let's dive in and I'll show you. Yeah, this is in Studio One, and we got auxes here. If you say effects track, then there are auxiliary tracks, right? And so I have on my vocal track.
What is going on? Why is that so loud? Hold on. Can I choose? Oh. What? How can I route? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. Is that just going through here? Like routing out of there? How can I route that? That's just blasting right through your ear. I am so sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Is that how do I... Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how to fix this.
And so that they're always hitting, and they're always like a fairly consistent volume. Then you would go over to that actual group channel, which would be a completely separate, plug in this 1/4" cable out of the insert.
Oh, that is so loud. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. I'm so really sorry. So, oh, I seen a video where they did this. All right, so we need to figure out how to route audio. Show up as like a different input or advanced audio properties. There should be like some. Like the problem I'm having, you know how when you have Scarlett, right? When you have like a Focusrite, you have this thing here, this mix control, this thing that like lets you mix your stuff. And I seen it in a video where they have that for the Quantum, but I don't have that for the Quantum. Do I need to? What did I miss? Where do I get that? I need to be able to blend. I need to be able to mix that for you guys. I know this is not exciting at all, but I mean you're not here anyway, so all right. What the fuck? So where do I get that? Like software. Where's the detail? Where do I Quantum? Where's the mixing? Where's the system mixing software for the Quantum? That's what I need to find. I guess we'll just start Googling stuff. Mixing software for Quantum ES2. Everything Quantum ES audio interfaces. Okay, yeah. ES2. All right, let's just go to the page, I guess. Features, yada yada. It's amazing. Support, resources, downloads. See, I downloaded the universal control, but it didn't give me like, it didn't give me that screen that everybody has. Where's that screen? Where's this universal control app? Quantum. How do I get this to show up? Mine doesn't show up like this. Works on any mobile or desktop device. How do I get my universal control app to look like this? Because mine looks just like this. This looks stupid. Where's all the mixing stuff? No devices available. How do I get devices available? Settings. Maybe I need to like rescan network. There should be a fat local device right here. It's not showing up. Okay, let's do that. Let's quit and then we'll open it again. Maybe it will show up. Quantum ES2 right there. But where is it here? Why is it not showing up here? I need all the mixing stuff. Metro is the latest version of Studio Live Series 3 mixers. Do I need this? You have no Metro connections. Click the plus icon above to get started. Plus? Is that what it is? Enter the email of the person that you want to connect with. Oh. No, I'm not trying to... What? Streaming? Oh, that's crazy. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to just mix. You know what I mean? Mute. Sure. Does that actually... It doesn't do anything. How... What is the problem? Do I need to reinstall this again? 431. How do I get it to look like this? Quantum. Universal Control app. It just looks totally different. There's probably some setting. If I screwed it up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to uninstall Universal Control. And then reinstall it, I guess. Because I don't know what I did. I didn't give it permission for something, probably. Or maybe just reinstall. Let me... I don't know. This... I'll probably have to reset my computer. Universal Control. Okay, continue. So as firmware for the following devices, Quantum ES2. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, please hang in there. Okay, keep. All right, and I guess I'll open it again and maybe it will work. I don't know. It will tell me I need to do something. At least, and then I can figure that out and look it up actually this time instead of skipping it. Okay, please update firmware. Oh, great. That's nice. Okay, update firmware. Yes. All right, I'll probably disappear. Please do not turn off. Okay. nice. Okay. All right, am I back? Can you hear me? Well, that's fancy. The volume is way less, so let me turn me up. I can turn that up back to okay. All right, how's that? It was about 12 o'clock before. Should be fine. Ish, something like that. All right, one. All right, it seems lower actually. Maybe that's like a firmware thing. Check. Okay. All right. And now I have a mixer here. Oh, this is cool. And I have high pass filters. Ah, neat. Fancy. I already have high pass on the mic. What? What? This is cool. Okay, so this should fix my issue with... Oh, I can monitor with this? Can I hear this in the headphones now? Oh, that's sick, bro. So sick. All right. Wow. Headphones, turn those up. Hello, can you hear me now? This is so crispy, bro. Crispy. All right, check. All right, so I want actually this in mono, I guess. I don't know. All right, so in one is mono. Check. Definitely mono mode. There we go. Check. How does that sound? That sounds pretty good. So I guess I could get more gain out of the mic. I'm just looking at this. Check, two. Check. Oh, that's really loud now. All right, check. Yeah, my levels are totally different than they were before. Oh, I see. Oh, I can turn this gain here. Okay. The gain here. Check. That's a lot of gain. Okay. Check. Okay. Check. Wow. Okay. Neat. This is cool. This is gonna be so fun to narrate the audiobook like this. And then should I leave this on? I don't know. I think the high pass might be too much. Okay. And then also, so the problem we were having was the audio from the system. The system was going through here. So when I play back audio on Descript, it was coming in here way too loud, and it was coming out of the same output. So what I need to do is figure out how to route. I don't even see, this is the input. So I don't see loop back one here. Back to, how do you find those? Somebody said it was hard to find. And I'm agreeing. Here we go. All right. So if I press play now, maybe it'll work fine and not come through here. I don't know. I'm really nervous. If this is super loud, I'm going to turn this down just so, actually I can't mute it because I need to see. Okay, so this is my normal talking voice now. It's really quiet. Okay, and then I'm going to press play.
There's reasons for why you would do things.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, I think it fixed it actually. So now everything is working right. So if I press play here, I don't think it comes through the main out.
Differently, but in general,
yeah, it's separate.
Subgroups are for like pure audio, and aux tracks are for something that you're gonna use like a time-based effect, or something that's very, very affected, like a reverb, or a delay, or something to that nature. Usually auxes. So let's dive in, and I'll show you. Yeah, this is in Studio One, and we got auxes.
Let me turn that up then.
They say FX track, and there are auxiliary tracks, right? And so
now you can hear me
on my
and
vocal track
me
here.
Hopefully it's not too much. Let me double check it.
Send mute.
Listen to what this is.
FX1. So we have
let me stop
here a temporary
here we go.
delay, that echo. And so
now you can hear me
on my vocal
and
track
me
here.
Hopefully it's not too much. Let me double check it.
Send mute.
Listen to what this is.
FX1. So we have
let me stop
here a temporary
There we go.
Delay that.
Okay, that sounds okay, I think. All right, so wow. Okay, that helps to have that. It's weird that that wasn't there before, but hey, it's here now, and that helps a lot. So, yeah, cool. All right, let's just stick that out of the way for now until I figure out how to work it. I'll take the phantom power off of there so we don't need the extra voltage. Hopefully it makes a difference. Oh, yeah, this is exciting, bro. All right, so I can monitor myself, but it's still not. And I wish, so there's sends in here. How does all this work? Like there's sends here. And I've got it coming out of my headphones supposedly. But it's really quiet. It's quiet. So I can't really. Interesting. Very interesting. So, I need to. How do these sends work? Return, sends. Can I do like effects and stuff? I feel like that's maybe something they're gonna add. Add scene. Okay. Now this will work for now, I think. How does the mic sound? I feel like it's a little clearer, crispier. Interesting. Okay, and now this showed up too. The SQ showed up. Maybe that will work better now. It's weird. Like both of these things didn't show up for a long time. I guess I had the wrong that mute for remote access. That's creepy. But what are you gonna do? All right. So all right. So we'll go back to editing your course, I guess. All right. Let's see what the robot did. He left this gap in.
Only being sent. Okay, in actual mixing land, back in the day when you had these mixing boards, these giant mixing boards and consoles, you would have your vocal, and your vocalist would be.
Okay.
You would have your vocal, and your vocalist would be like, "Hey, can you put some delay on my voice?" And you'd be like, "Sure." And what had to happen for that was kind of crazy. You would have to go on that channel, go down to where it said aux send. It stands for auxiliary send, and then you would turn that little knob, and it would. And it stands for auxiliary send. And it stands for auxiliary send, and then you would turn that little knob, and it would send audio to another location, an aux, if you will, and that aux you would then
Oops.
would then route out of another plug in your console into this little reverb unit, digital box. You would plug that little 1/4-inch cable into there, and then out of the back of that, and then back in, you'd route that back into another channel, and that would be your aux return. You could have an auxiliary return, so it would be like right there on the mixer, and then you would adjust it there, the level there, or you could have an auxiliary return, so it would be like right there on.
Right. Pause. There. Pause. On the mixer.
And then you would adjust it there, the level there, or you could bring it in on a whole new fader. And so when we're talking about auxes, that's what that is. But in a DAW, it's just this really simple, elegant solution. And the same thing with subgroups. Back in the day on the mixer, you would have the mixer, you would have all of your little channels, and then all your channels would typically go to the stereo mix. But we also had these things mixed, but we also had these things called subgroups, and the mixers back in the day would only have maybe 4. You would have like 4 subgroups, 8 if you were lucky. You would have all of your little channels, and then all your channels would typically go to the stereo mixed, but we also had these things called subgroups, and the mixers back in the day would only have maybe 4. You would have like 4 subgroups, 8 if you were lucky. These things called subgroups, and the mixers back in the day would only have maybe 4. 8 if you were lucky, and 16 if you were on a giant friggin' monster board, but like 4 usually. And so you would send all the drums to one subgroup. Eight if you were lucky, and maybe 4. 8 if you were lucky, and 16 if you were on a giant friggin' monster board, but 4 usually. And so you would send all the drums to one subgroup. So instead of going, so on the mixer at the bottom of the channel, instead of like the button, there's like a little teeny button, and it's like usually. So instead of going, so on the mixer at the bottom of the channel, instead of like the button, there's like a little teeny button, and it's like the channel, there's like a little teeny button, and it's like 1, 2 for stereo, or 1, 2 for group 1, 2, and then 3, 4 for group 3, 4, and it's like 1, 2 for group 1, 2, and then 3, 4 for group 3, 4, and then like stereo bus, and so you would have to take it out of the stereo bus. For group 3, 4, and the stereo bus, and so you would have to take it out of the stereo bus, put it into 1, 2, send all the drums to 1, 2, and then you could put a compressor on all the drums, and so that they're always hitting, and they're always like a fairly consistent. They're always hitting, and they're always like a fairly consistent volume. Then you always like fairly consistent volume. Then you would go over. Then you would go over to that actual group channel, which would be a completely separate channel, and then you would adjust the volume of all the drums with that one channel, that one meter. So all of the drums are sent to that group channel, but that group channel has something called inserts. So you still have to plug in this 1/4-inch cable out of the insert into a rack-mountable compressor unit, and then out of that compressor.
Oh, you got rid of stupid.
Have to plug in the stupid 1/4-inch cable out of the insert into a rack-mountable compressor unit, and then out of that compressor back into this.
I remember having to do this. Like I did live sound,
and then
at this place called Tech World
compressor unit.
And what a cool idea! Like somebody should still do this. Like you would have to do probably like virtual, and what is the word? Like PlayStation, whatever they're up to with the 3D glasses and everything. But like back then, it was just like a computer gaming place, and they had all. Ooh, excuse me. They had a room you would go in and you would pay hourly, and it wasn't expensive. It was like maybe, I don't know, $4 an hour or something. You would go in there and like get like 4 hours at a time, and you would go and you play games after you got out of school, and in this room, and like everybody in that room is on a network playing games against each other. I think today, like you could still do something like that. With like the VR thing, like you have a bunch of people in a VR room or something. But the cool thing about it was also a concert venue, and they had like all these like crazy hardcore bands on weekends, punk bands, hardcore bands, metal bands, sometimes rock bands. And so we would get in there on like a alternative rock night. Sometimes we would play there. But that place, man, somebody should do that again, because that was so fun. And yeah, this is where I did a lot of mixing.
Drums are sent to that group channel, but that group channel has something called inserts. So you still have to plug in the stupid 1/4-inch cable out of the insert into a rack-mountable compressor unit, and then out of that compressor back into the stupid subgroup insert return, and then you could be able to control the output of that compressor. And so it was this
Oh my gosh, come on.
volume of all the
Where am I?
With that.
Control the output. Where did it go?
Like pure audio and...
What is this? Where did the output go? Control stupid quarter-inch cable.
Quarter-inch cable out of the insert.
All right, let's get rid of these breaths. Okay, so I think that's a setting I need to change on OBS or Prism, because I'm compressing.
The drums are sent to that group channel.
Too much. It's getting my
inserts.
breaths.
So you still have to plug in the stupid.
Too much breath noise.
So all of the drums are sent to that group channel, but that group channel has something called...
Man, you don't.
But that group channel has something called...
You don't even understand. Like, I can hear so much better with these same exact headphones, just through a better headphone amp.
But that group channel has something called inserts. So you still have to plug in the stupid quarter-inch cable out of the insert into a rack-mountable compressor unit, and then out of that compressor, back...
What kind of...
Out of that... Then out of that compressor, back into the stupid subgroup insert return, and...
That's all I was trying to do.
And then you could be able to control the output of that compressor. And so it was this ridiculous process that is now like one click of your DAW. So it's now one click inside of your DAW. So they're essentially the same thing, but there are like there's reasons for why you would do things differently. But in
essentially the same thing, but there's reasons. There's reasons.
There's reasons for why you...
There's... what is this? I never talked like this until I started watching. I used to watch too much of the fake news. I mean, the funny news, whatever the Daily Show.
The same thing, but there's reasons for why you would do things differently. But in general...
Okay, in general, I don't need any of that. Come on, robot, you could have cut that out.
Subgroups are for like pure audio and aux.
No, you don't need that.
Pure audio and aux.
Oop.
And then out of that compressor, back into...
Aux tracks, I'm down
pure
here.
Audio and aux tracks are for something that you're gonna use, like a time-based effect, like a...
Also, I should mention this. I don't know if you're for some reason here, I'll just drop gems. In Studio One, if you're mixing in Atmos and you want your reverb to be in Atmos, you use an aux. And if you want your reverb to have the option to still be in stereo and then thrown into the Atmos bed, you use a group. I think I said that the right way. So you can use your stereo reverb in an Atmos mix. You would use a group.
Essentially the same thing, but there's reasons for why you would do things differently. But in general, subgroups are for pure audio and aux tracks are for something that you're going to use, like a time-based effect, or like something that's very, very affected, like a reverb or a delay or something to that.
For a time-based effect.
Are for a time-based effect, or like something that's very, very affected. Very affected, like a reverb or a delay or something to that nature, usually aux. Something to that nature, usually auxes. So let's dive in.
Are usually auxes.
Something to that.
So let's dive in. I need to zoom out a little bit. This is how do I zoom out?
Let's dive in and I'll show you. Dive in and I'll show you. Yeah, this is in Studio One, and we got auxes here. If you say effects track, then there are auxiliary tracks, right? And so I have there are auxiliary tracks, right? And so I have right, and so I have on my vocal track here, right? Send mute effects 1. So we have here a temporary delay, that echo through you. It's only being sent here where I'm muting the send, or unmuting the send rather. So the send is just here where I'm unmuting the send. So the send is just the mute on and off for that auxiliary. So this would be the level of that knob here. So back in the day, it would be a knob, but here it's just send level. And minus.
Let's just tighten this up. Okay.
So back in the day, it would be a knob, but here it's just send level. And -6 is -6 decibels. And that echo, that send is going to the.
Oh, I guess I need and.
-6 decibels. And that send is going to the aux track with.
Do I need and?
That send is going to the aux track with the echo on it, which was over here. Where do they all go? Oh, here. That's this track here. And so this is the auxiliary track for that reverb, and it's just this Valhalla. The auxiliary track for that reverb, and it's just this Valhalla Supermassive. This is free, by the way. Valhalla makes amazing reverbs, but they have some really great free plugins, Supermassive. And then I use a ton of that. Then I use a ton of that other free one called like Frequency, something that's just basically like a fancy flanger thing. And use that a bunch on the last track where I was mixing, trying to get that like retro Jimi Hendrix thing. There's a whole playlist where I mix that track. But anyway, Supermassive is the echo delay thing going on. And then, of course, we're trying to control that a little bit. So we're rolling off all the lows, da-da-da-da, same. Dynamic EQ on problem areas that we're poking out. All right, and that's what this sounds like. And then, of course, we're trying to control that a little bit. So we're rolling off all the lows, da-da-da-da, same. Dynamic EQ on problem areas that we're poking out. All right, and that's what this sounds like. All right, and that is, I guess, it for buses and auxes. If you have any questions about buses and auxes, ask me over here in the chat. And if you have questions about buses and auxes, let me know, and then we'll move on to the next module.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, that's it. I edited a module. So we're going to do quality high export. Okay, so we're just going to export this as routing pre-edit, and we're going to export it into mixing for songwriters, routing edits. This is the edit routing. Okay, so mixing for songwriters, and that's just going to take a minute. I don't know why it's so slow these days, but it is. Yeah. Where's my face? My face is not on here. Okay. How's everything sounding? Is it sounding like super crispy, amazing? Hopefully I'm not too, but it is loud. And yeah. Where's my face? My face is not on here. It sounds pretty good. All right. Hey. So yeah, today's live stream was kind of just wanted to get through and edit those couple of videos, get them uploaded. Well, get both videos uploaded, edit the one, and let's see what we're doing next in the course. Get ready for, I guess, tomorrow, because I don't know unless I can do it really quick. So we got, where's our course? This is dynamics. I think I got this all set up. That's the video. Okay, so let's go out of here. You can't see this. That will be helpful. All right, so we got before. So we're gonna go over effects and reverb, which we kind of did in a way. And vocals and mix bus mastering. So I have a feeling, while this course is free right now, I have a feeling what's gonna happen is I'm gonna have a serious vocal mixing course, or this section, the vocal section of this. Oh, what? Where's the camera? Hold on a second. Let's get the camera going. It's not there. It's here. It's there. It's everywhere. Everything's fine here. Thank you. All right. When you're live, you're live. Okay. It's just what it is. All right. So what I'm saying is the vocal section of this course will probably, it's going to be intense, and it's also going to be like, I think, the most beneficial thing for most of you, because every time you guys send me something, the vocals don't sound great, and I know it's not fair for me to talk, because also my vocals have not been sounding the best, especially since I can tell the difference now with this interface. So I get it, but like there's like a whole something missing with you guys and your vocal processing, and so it's going to be its own thing. I don't know, maybe that will be sold separately. Either the vocals thing will be sold separately, or this will be separate. I don't know. I'm thinking about one of the things will be extra and one will be free eventually, but right now they're all free and you can get on the wait list. It will be free for people that are willing to review this course and give me like real feedback on whether this is helping you or not. So you can join the wait list below the video that you're watching right now. Let's see here. Have I got anybody to sign up for the wait list? Let's see. I need this screen here. Actually, let me. Whoa. What can I do to get to that screen? Mixing for Songwriters. All right, let's do dashboard. Open in new tab. I'm gonna just get this off the screen because it shows the emails. Nobody has signed up for this, and maybe I'm not doing it right. No. Anyway. And sometimes I do update the 7-step songwriting checklist, so which I guess is the advantage of having it as a live document, like but once you duplicate it to your Notion, like you lose the updates. So yeah, so maybe I'll shoot an email out about an updated checklist whenever I get it updated again. Yeah. So effects and reverb, vocals. I think this is good for today, and then tomorrow we'll come in here. We'll finish, actually just maybe finish the whole course. The vocals bit is going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky to say the least. But I just want to be able to hear good. Like I want to be able to hear. I want to have fresh ears when I do these two. So maybe it'll be a couple more days before the course is actually finished. I have an idea. You guys are not going to like what I'm going to say on the before you publish stuff, but it's going to help you a lot. Yeah. So if you want access to the course, make sure you get on the wait list. And then if you need help with your songwriting, make sure you're subscribed. Give the video you don't have to thumbs up this video. I get it. It's whatever it is. And we'll see you